Coming up on today's episode. Welcome back to the Bench YouTube. Here with you again once more. We are looking at the Sony Bluetooth speaker board that is the subject of our concern. Basically, what you can see here is the old jack off, and you can barely see it, but you can see the five little. I think you can see it. Five little tabs on that connect to the five tabs here on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's the four bigger holes that hold the actual port in place. And again, the tabs that I pointed out are the connection points for the port itself. So, and you can see there's nothing left in there. It's just a mess of nothing. So when the new one arrives now, that's another thing I wanted to update. It is supposed to arrive today in the mail, so it is out for delivery. Got here a day early. So again, what I've done basically using the solder wick here, as you can see right there, is unsolder the basically the port itself first, and then I started pulling up on the little what's left of the port, I should say, and it just basically came off. So from what I understand on these SMD type components, you really need to clean up this part here and get that ready for the new one. I did order the hot air rework station that I had recommendations from two people that I trust very much, Brendan and Bob, and even Ron C. Said it doesn't have to be the most expensive one, and this is not. I will flash up a picture of that, and like I said, I did order that today, and I don't know how long it'll take. It's I think New Jersey, so been getting things pretty quickly from that area, so happy about that. But anyway, this is basically what I'm going to do on this one. Is I'm going to use the digital microscope and check this out as close as possible and look and see. I don't think there's any damage there, but what I am told by, like I said, Brendan and Bob and Ron, you need to clean this up as best as possible with solder wick and get it down basically to the pads that were put on the board at the factory. In other words, you don't want to use the solder that's on there. Now I tend to do it that way because that's just the way I have been doing it without a rework station with a soldering iron. I basically just tin all these little tabs with just a tip of solder and then do the same thing on that, and basically put the port in and just lightly touch it with the soldering iron across there. I mean, they're lined up already, and just basically touch it. As soon as you touch it, the solder will liquefy and, you know, obviously hold the tab on, I think. That's the way I've done it anyway in the past, and I've had pretty good success doing it that way. And then lastly, I'll just take and resolder. These two here definitely are soldered in. Now these two on the front, not quite as sure, but it looks to me like there's some solder there, but I'm going to put some in there because I think that's what holds that in there and keeps it tight. So anyway, that's the story on that, and like I said, this is where I'm at and what I'm doing. If that makes any sense. But I'm kind of looking forward to getting this rework station because I would like to learn how to use that better. This stuff is just so tiny, as you can see, obviously. This is my best close-up camera that I know of. So, like I said, it's just, I don't know if I can get it any closer than that. And I think that's about it. But you can see, if it focuses right there, it's tiny. So that's what we're looking at, and like I said, that's what I've got to try to do. I want to try to get that in because it's going to be a week or so before I get that rework station. I'd like to get that in and get it working before that even arrives, because I don't want to delay this too much longer, and I want to get this back to him and let him be using it. They do have their a new pool, and they like to listen to music out there by the pool. So anywho, that's that. And like I say, we're going to have to wait on the parts. They should be arriving in the afternoon mail. Notice the garbage trash guys just went down the street. Usually they come back up the street, sometimes right away, sometimes not. I guess they use different routes. But so, to get the trash bins in. Actually, I only got to get one in because new neighbor, we haven't established any any type of camaraderie there, I guess is what the word would be. But so I noticed it was I was using it to put some cardboard in, and I noticed I hadn't put anything in there for a while, and the landlord apparently had done some more work over next door and filled it up. So anyway, I got everything I wanted to put in there, but it was pretty much full. So it doesn't matter to me, I guess. Well, I can just now. Well, I just said that, and I'm hearing trash guy coming the other way, I think. Oh well, whatever. No big deal, one way or the other. This is their normal time now. Last week it was a Tuesday because of the holiday, so they were running late. But this is about their normal time for coming, picking up trash. So it's 1:28 in the afternoon now. So all right, that's gonna do me. I'll be blabbering. You know me. So we'll as soon as we get the parts in, we'll look at those and see what we can do with them, and go from there. So stay tuned. I'm back with you again, YouTube, here at the bench once more. I do have the parts. I say parts, there are two of them in there, I hope, for this repair. Of course, now I've lost my scissors. Never fails. There they are. And Bob made a comment on my getting some big boy scissors. These are actually surgical scissors, Bob. Just wanted to let you know. So they're big boy scissors. But I do have a large pair in the other room, but there was no sense in going and getting them when I had these. So let's open this up. Oh, there they are. And that's what we got here. Now these are supposed to be for this actual, they were listed as replacement parts for this, so let's hope they are. They look alright. It's kind of hard to see. Those are on a, what do you call it? Looks like I know what they call those strips. Some parts come on resistors and capacitors and things like that. They're on strips like that. Well, the trick is getting them out now. I'm gonna have to get serious with this. I can't see it for one thing. Let me get my other eyes on, and maybe I can see it better with those. Yeah, it's the same one, it looks like. It just doesn't want to come out of that package. Whoops. Here it went. Good thing I bought two. Alright, there you go. There's what it looks like. I don't have my close-up camera available. I don't know if I left it on or what, but the battery is completely dead in it. Wouldn't even come on. So, compared to the other one, I'm going to say it is pretty much an exact match. So that is good. I say exact, but of course it's got the insides. It's not missing those. Let's see if the those are mostly the same. Looks like. Yeah, they are exactly the same. Let's see if the width is the same. Yep, width is the same. So that is our part, and that will be good. Now, just for the heck of it, I'm going to see if it fits in here. Just real quick test fit. And there you can see it does fit in there. I've got to clean those holes out a little bit better than they are, but for the most part it's in there. And well, I'm going to lose it again if I don't watch out. Now here's the deal. Get you a little closer. Here's the deal on this. I've got with all the talk of the hot air rework stations, you know, for stuff like this, I went and bought one, and it is supposed to be here sometime. Well, I'm gonna say shortly, but you know, it's typical eBay. You know, poke and hope. You wait, you hope that it comes quickly, but then sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And as such, I don't know when it will be here, but it is ordered. So I wish I had it just a little cleaner so I could get those in there a little bit better. Now, part of that is the pins themselves, because I did not clean the contact points off, but I wanted that because originally I was going to do this with my soldering iron, and I may still do that. That was the big topic of discussion with me and Bob earlier on whether I should wait for the hot air station to arrive or try to fix this like I always did before with my soldering iron. Now, again, the thing to do if you want to try it, now these have solder on them. Let me get something I can point better with, but these contact pins, points, whatever pads, whatever you want to call these are all soldered right now because you remember when I pulled the old one off, it just came loose. It you know, I pulled it up a little bit and they just came right off. So those have solder. I've looked at this closely, as far as close as I can, you know. And they do have solder. They're fairly clean and stuff like that. So what I was going to do, and Bob suggested the same thing, is to apply just a touch of solder tinning on these pins, each one of the pins, being careful not to obviously bridge a pin, and then you know, making sure these holes are cleaned out, which they are not yet done. I will have to do that, but making sure those are cleaned out, stick that in there like that, as they are supposed to go in there like that, and then take your soldering iron and gently, and I do mean gently, touch these pins, and as you touch each one, it will obviously melt the solder and on the pad and the pin and make a good contact. And that's the plan there if I do it that way. Of course, now if I don't do it that way, and I try out the hot air type situation, that should work also. But now there's another apparent, I can't get that to stay in there. I keep wanting to search for the word I'm looking for. Another part of that I don't have yet either, and that is the flux that has solder on it. Now, Brendan and Bob both said I needed that. Basically what you do is you touch, and Brendan said he used a toothpick. Bob said he used a small screwdriver like this. But basically what you do is you touch that flux to each one of those pads. Well, you're supposed to clean them off first, and then you touch that flux to each one of those pads. Then you put this on, and you apply the heat. And what that does is melts the solder inside the flux. And that's probably how this was attached the first time, because as you recall, like I said, it came off pretty easy. So that's the way to do it, I think. That's just, just mainly making contact is all you're looking to do with that. And so this stuff is hard to work with, I can tell you that. But anyway, so that's where I'm at with that. And if I haven't flashed up a picture of that rework station, I will do that. And as you can see, it's got the soldering iron with it, and it's 2-in-1, and that will be used over on the other side of my bench because I don't have a soldering iron over there. And that was going to be the low voltage, I guess, side of things anyway. This is going to be mainly for tubes, higher voltage devices over here on this side, and the other side would be the transistorized solid state stuff. So that's the plan there, is to mount it over there somewhere. But in the meantime, I don't know what to do. I'm kind of torn between two places here or something. On the one hand, I'd like to get this done back to Randy, but on the other hand, I don't want to mess it up. I do have two, but at the same time, I'd kind of like to do it the right way. And I'd like to try out that new rework station. I think that would be fun to try out. And Ron's already posted a video on it, and looked like it worked out pretty good for him. And I see no reason why it wouldn't work out for me. So again, I got to clean these out. I may look into some those my small drill bits and see if I can run those through there. But I think it's just a matter of more solder wick and getting all that solder out of there. And I think so. And it's another thing I'm thinking is, if I just had forced that down a little bit with a little more pressure, it would probably go right in the hole. And I think that's probably the case there. It's just so difficult to see. It's just so small. Right there's where it's got to be. And you can see it, all the pins are in the holes, and it's in the correct spot, but obviously it doesn't stick in there, and I can't push it down hard enough to make it stay. It may be that it's just loose in there, and that may be the whole thing. It may be why it doesn't want to stay there. I don't know. But that's my dilemma. There's one or two ways of doing this, so let me think about it some more, and I will get back with you. In the meantime, ZB 1971 suggested a couple of places to look for bench lighting, and I have seen those now, and one of the solutions involved the LED strip lights, and I have those that I bought for my monitor, and it's basically the same thing. And so, I was thinking about with my, let me back you up a little bit, tilt you down a little bit. With my strip here on the front of this, I was going to put a catch-all, up here, and I've got the piece to do it. But I thought, if I took a strip of that and basically applied it to that thing there, that would shine out this way and would give me light in the front. And that's where I miss my light at, is I have plenty of light coming down this way on things, but I need more light coming this way. And that would definitely do it. So I may look into that as well, because I've got that thing and it's really not being used for anything at the moment. So may try that. So alright, let's let you know about that. Let me again think about this and see what Bob's wanting. I heard the text a minute ago. And I just wanted to let you know that I did get the part, and that's my dilemma on what I'm waiting for on whether or not I do this now or not. And so there you go. Oh, welcome back once again to YouTube. Here with you on the, I would start to say on the bench, but we are not on the bench. We are in the living room talking about some stuff. As you can see by the screen, and that's the subsequent thumbnail for this video. I was on another adventure last night, and as such, I didn't get much done. I, of course, went out to my daughter's and son-in-law's. I think I left the house about 9 last night, and by the time they called from the office of the papers to that the truck was on the way, I think it was around quarter till midnight, and we left and picked up the papers and subsequently delivered them all. And quite a trip. This was a lot longer trip than the first time I did this with them. And like I said, it wasn't all bad. It wasn't all good either. Some of the roads that you have to drive on to get these papers delivered are not the best roads. They tend to be a little bit curvy. And so, like I say, it's one of those things, it is what it is. But anywho, that's what I did last night. Like I said, I got home a little after 8 this morning. Went directly to bed and ended up sleeping about noon. So 4 hours, I figure it's not bad. So, like I said, I may take another nap. You never can tell. But anywho, that's what happened last night. And one of the things I decided, well, I didn't really decide, but the item that I've been waiting for on the Sony Bluetooth speaker project, the hot air rework station, is now been shipped, and has actually been shipped. There's a lot of times they give you the tracking number and they don't really ship it, but it is in the hands of the UPS, and it's coming out of Ontario, California, apparently, even though the item description says the item is in New Jersey. Anyway, that's not a big deal to me. I don't care where it comes from, as long as it's what it's supposed to be. And so they're saying now, originally the original earliest date that it would be here is next Tuesday. Now they're saying it will be here Wednesday, next Wednesday. So, like I said, usually it's the other way around. When the actual shipping company gets hold of the estimate from when it'll be here will be shorter, but now it's actually longer. So I don't know what's going on with UPS, but I know the Postal Service usually has no problems getting things out of California here in a couple, 3 days. So I don't know why it's taking them a week to do that, but it is what it is. Like I said, so obviously I'm not going to have that in time for today's video. So I decided to wait on that, and I told you I was pondering it in earlier clips, and so I had decided to do that. And I wanted to. My daughter had asked me about riding with him again, and I told him the week she asked me that was last week, and then I thought, well, I'll do it this week. And so I did take a nap yesterday afternoon, about Bob's nap time. You all know Bob. So I did get a little bit of a nap in, and like I said, I wasn't as sleepy. I mean, I was sleepy, but not overly sleepy, I should say. And I was able to make the trip okay. No problem with that. But anyway, so again, this is actually basically explaining what my decision was as far as doing the Sony speaker without the hot air rework station. I think I'm going to wait on it. I just think it would be a better situation all around. It gives me, number one, it gives me a little practice using the new tool, and plus it's actually going to probably be easier to do with that, I think. The solder paste flux should be here well before the actual rework station gets here. So I will have that as well. And I think I have my instructions from Brendan and Bob on how to apply the paste to the port and get it to where it will be functional once it's heated up. And it's kind of interesting to do. I'm going to try to do this on camera so that you can see, and I'll use the close-up camera on it, and you can just kind of see the solder flow and stuff like that, hopefully. And we'll kind of like what Ron did in his video. So that's what we're going to try for, and hopefully that will work. So in the meantime, you guys will just have to put up with this again. I don't know what I'm going to do Tuesday yet. I haven't decided yet, but I have plenty of projects to choose from, and so we will get it done. And I did talk to Randy last night about the speaker. I told him what was going on with it, and I could not use the other item that I wanted to use, and he said, well, you just have to learn how to do it. And I said, yeah, it's just basically getting it in the right direction. I said, it really only fits one way. And my daughter piped up. She says, well, I plugged my phone in a couple of different ways. I said, you're not helping. And it really only fits one way. So, like I said, it is, maybe it's a family thing. I don't know. But anywho, that's what that is. And like I said, I don't want to talk about this a long time. Again, you guys have a great day. Thank you so very much for watching, and we will see ya.